So moving forward with chapter of Tayammum. So we covered the conditions, or rather some of the conditions, and the conditions that validate the intention, and also what are the reasons that would allow one to perform the tayammum. So, وحصول مرض وبرد يخاف منه التلف أو المرض وخوف عدو وعطش واحتياج لأجل لا لطبخ. I think we did that. Okay, الثالث, yes. أن يكون التيمم بطاهر من جنس الأرض. Okay, so the third condition that's a requisite is that when performing tayammum, it should be done with a pure earth substance. It has to be pure. It has to be from the earth. It has to be from the ground. So, كالتراب والحجر والرمل لا الحطب والفضة والذهب. So, soil, stone, sand, these are the things which are from earth. So one is permitted to use these things for tayammum. A person cannot perform tayammum with wood, even though it grows from the earth, but you can't perform tayammum with wood unless there's dust on it. Unless there's dust on it, unless there is soil on it, in which case it would be permissible. But just directly doing tayammum on something that is wood or something that is made of wood, no, it is not permissible, even though it is made from lead. Similarly, a person cannot perform tayammum with gold or any kind of metal unless there's dust on it, unless there's soil on it. So, so gold, silver, any kind of metal for that matter, one is not permitted to perform tayammum on those substances. الرابع استيعاب المحل بالمس. So the fourth condition when tayammum would be correct is that the parts of the body that must be wiped. So the parts of the body that must be wiped are the face, right? So from where the hair starts to below the chin, from one ear to the other. Basically what we wash in wudu. That is what is going to be covered in tayammum. So the fourth condition is to completely wipe the parts that are supposed to be wiped. So that means the face, the entire face, such as when you would do wudu, and the arms, including the elbows. So both arms need to be thoroughly covered for the tayammum to be valid. And again, this is the school of Abu Hanifa, rahmatullah alayhi. Moving forward, استيعاب المحل بالمس. الخامس أن يمسح بجميع اليد أو بأكثرها حتى لو مسح بإصبعين لا يجوز ولو كرر حتى استوعب بخلاف مس الرأس. Okay, so the fifth condition is that one should use the entire hand or the majority of it when wiping the face and when wiping the arms. Obviously, there is no masah. There is no masah of the head. There is no masah on the feet for tayammum. There is only masah of the face and masah of the arms, including the elbows. So the fifth condition is that when doing the masah of tayammum, that the entire hand should be used. So you can't use like a finger or a pinky. It has to be the entire hand. The entire hand. Otherwise, it is not valid. So it's saying over here, it's not valid if a person, for example, wipes with like two fingers. It's not valid. So you can't, because you can't cover the entire arm, right? And even if he does it repeatedly, even if this person does it repeatedly, like he uses two fingers and then he uses that, constantly to try to get every square inch of skin. even then it would not be permissible. The tayammum would not be valid. It's a requisite to use. It would be a requisite to use the entire hand for tayammum to be correct. In wudu, different story. In wudu, it's a different story. You can use, for wudu, you can use 2 fingers. Make sure you get water on every single square inch of the body, and it's fine. It would be valid because water intrinsically is for purity as opposed to tayammum. Tayammum, it's something that is completely against logic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed it. This is why it is permitted to use it. Otherwise, if we think about it logically, it doesn't make sense because all you're doing is you're making yourself more dirty when doing tayammum. السادس أن يكون بضربتين بباطن الكفين ولو في مكان واحد. So the 6th condition is that there's going to be 2 strikes. So you're going to hit the ground or whatever substance you're doing tayammum on twice. So once and twice over the soil. Even if it's from the same place, no problem. Even if it's from the same place, it's not an issue. No problem at all. So it's going to be with the palms, right? The palms and the fingers. An alternative, ولو في مكان واحد, even if it's from the same place. ويقوم مقام الضربتين إصابة التراب بجزر إذا مسه بنية التيمم. Another solution that is given is that the 2 strikes is the wiping, that you use it to put your hands on the soil, which is already present on one's body, provided one intends tayammum when doing this. So for example, if you have soil on the body, if the body is dusty, and you just do tayammum with the dust or the soil that is on the body, this would probably be applicable for someone who's farming, the entire day. Doesn't realizes at the end of the day that, well, you know what, I don't have water. So he's all dusty, he can use that dust for tayammum. Or for example, let's say someone is in the desert and there's a dust storm, such as, and it's a heavy dust storm that every part of the body is covered, and then this person makes the niyyah, and then he just wipes everything, wipes his face, wipes his arms. Tayammum would be valid in that kind of situation. السابع انقطاع ما ينافيه من حيض أو نفاس أو حدث. The 7th condition is that the things that are not compatible with tayammum must discontinue, must cease, right, before stopping. So for women, it would be their cycle, their monthly cycle, postnatal bleeding, minor impurity. So these are the things that tayammum is incompatible with. الثامن زوال ما يمنع المس كشمع وشهم. The 8th condition for tayammum to be valid is to remove any obstacle that prevents the wiping of the skin. Wax, let's say you're handling beeswax, right? That poses a problem because wax would create a barrier on the skin, so you can't wipe. Right? You're wiping over it. Or for example, if you're working with grease, if you're working with fatty grease, in which case tayammum would not be valid because that grease is preventing that soil or that earth from touching the skin, which is supposed to be wiped. So these things would prevent the tayammum from being valid. So this covers the 8 conditions of tayammum. And inshallah, next week we will continue with the pillars of tayammum. The pillars of tayammum, actually, we can just do that now. There are only 2 pillars of tayammum: mas'ul yadayn wal wajh. You just wipe the arms and you wipe the face. Right? So whatever is fard in the wudu, that is what is fard in tayammum, with the exception of wiping the head and washing the feet. So then, inshallah, next week we'll start from the sunan of tayammum, the sunnahs of tayammum, and they are 7. Jazakallah khair.
Must start with the face first, or?
Yeah, the face would be wiped first. If you reverse it, it's permissible, but you're going against the sunnah. It's permissible, but you're going against the sunnah. The order is not from the wajibat.
I have seen many people they do the tayammum with this water stuff that baju, you know baju?
Yes.
put around them.
Yes.
They put that one on the ground and do the tayammum using that. Probably.
I mean, if there's enough dust on it,
Huh?
if there's enough dust on it, is there dust on it? Is it dusty?
Well, the idea is that it has some dust.
I mean, see, it has to be visible as well. There has to be a conspicuous amount of dust, a visible amount of
Like
dust.
when you touch it, so the dust should come off.
No, it should be visible. The dust should be visible. The soil should be visible. It can't be something abstract that, oh, there is going to be dust on it. Because everything has dust. Everything has dust.
Just
Rock is fine.
solid rock.
Yes, it's from the earth, so that's fine.
No, but the rock, how about if rock does not have a dust?
Yeah, that wouldn't matter because the rock itself is from the earth, so it's permissible. The issue with clothing is that dust is generally not on the clothing, in the sense that it's conspicuous.
It is a very common practice that is.
It's a common practice, but that doesn't necessarily make it okay. There has to be,
So even if the rock is clean, let's say.
even if it is clean.
Let's say tile.
No, it can't be tile.
No, tile sometimes are pure rocks.
Because nowadays tiles have glaze on them.
Okay, not this.
Yeah. If
that
it's-
is- okay.
Then it's okay. If it's like clay or something, then it would be fine. But these days tiles have a good amount of glaze on them, which would disqualify it from
So
white.
rock, even if there is no dust, is okay. Right?
No problem. Yep.
So for the rock, we didn't do that. You just
You can wipe it. Yeah. You don't have to strike.
yeah,
Yeah.
not strike.
Yep. You can just wipe. Yeah. Yeah. That would be fine.
So for the face and for the feet, we have to strike it 2 times.
So no feet. Feet are not
No, I
going to
mean
like
for the
the
hands.
arms. Yeah.
Arms.
Yes. So the
2
face
times we have to
twice. So once, and then you cover the entire face. Right. Make sure you get all the crevices. Right. Everything. And then second time you strike, and then you go like that, flip, like that. And just make sure you get every part, such as you would
At the
when
beginning
doing
you said you can do the tayammum if there is no water within 1 mile.
Yes, 1 square mile, yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't, as I mentioned, that doesn't necessarily mean that you walk, you walk north, south, east, west. That's,
Just you know that.
I mean, you're already trying to look for water. I mean, you're just going to make matters worse for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you should have like a reasonable assessment that, you know what, it seems that I'm not going to find water. And if I do, things are just going to become worse for me. In that kind of situation, it's best just to do tayammum. Yeah. Save your water, save your strength. Do tayammum. Now, if you find water within the time period and it's an abundance of water, yeah, you can repeat the salat.
I want snow if there is snow but no water.
There's what?
If there is snow.
Snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, snow, it would be permissible because we went over this at the beginning that snow, this is a valid source of water, except that it would have to be melted. So if there's no possibility of harming yourself and you losing a limb or two from hypothermia, then yeah, you can use snow. But if you use snow, then there's that possibility of frostbite, hypothermia. Subhanallah.
جزاك الله خير.